Hey, how y'all doing? This is your girl Bre'Anna, and this is the Divine Intervention Podcast, where I try my best to make space and learn how to take up that space. For today's episode, I wanted to kick it off with a new poem I wrote. It's called Chrysalis. In the crevices of my mind, I crawl through the debris of old memories, filling up on moments of insecurity. I wonder if I cling to a shell of myself rather than of me, hiding from the world in a cocoon I molded for safety, waiting for my wings to grow, for me to realize that I'm more than I even know myself to be. But my wings grew years ago, and I'm sitting telling myself that caution, not leaving the shell, is what's best for me. Still and awaiting confirmation from a world determined not to give it to me. Praying to a God who knows me better than myself, silently waiting for me to choose to be free. While I confine myself to my mind, my cocoon, my safe haven, my prison, my home. A place I've convinced myself is best for me. But life begins in the open, outside of thoughts and dreams. Curating this new version of me sometimes feels like more than I believe myself to have. But the day you spread your wings is when you can truly call yourself a butterfly. I wanted to kick off this episode with this poem because lately I've noticed a change in my poetry. I think that I write very different now. But as I look over a lot of my old poetry, I notice that there is a theme of almost feeling trapped in my mind and in my emotions. And I know that in my last episode, I talked a lot about not being afraid to fly or not being afraid to feel. And I think in this episode, I want to dive into accepting that it is okay to feel. You have to feel. You can't force yourself to block things out. You can't avoid things. Because when you let it bottle up inside of you, it is going to spill over eventually. Typically, it spills over when you least expect it, in places and times when you really don't need it to. So it's kind of best to clock in when your body, your mind, your emotions are asking you to. But in that same breath, I think that it's important to not allow your emotions to control you, to understand that feelings are fleeting and that things are supposed to let you know that there's something going on with you and that you should acknowledge it and that you should give space to yourself. But making sure that you don't allow yourself to sit too long in things. I have noticed a lot in meditation for me that it's really easy for me to go back to old memories. It's easy for me to go back to old things. And like the poem Chrysalis, for a long time I thought that the cocoon that I molded around myself for safety was that. I thought it was safety. I thought that it was protecting me. And I think that recently I realized that the same wall that you build to block things out, it also doesn't allow things to come in. And so, in exchange for a false sense of safety, you're kind of blocking out memories and all of the wonderful things that come with life because you were so caught up in the curriculum of the lesson that God was trying to teach you that you didn't realize that the purpose was the lesson. I think for so long I would get so caught up in the way that the lesson was taught or the way in which I had to learn a specific thing that I wasn't really paying attention to the fact that the lesson was the point of it all. And the experience was just that, an experience. I think in the poem, when I say crawling through the debris of old memories, I noticed with myself that I really had a problem with rumination. I think that's how you say the word. I would take time to Google it right now, but I don't feel like doing that. Things don't have to be perfect. I like to think that if you're listening to me by now, you know what I'm talking about. I have a bad habit of just sitting with things. And the thing with sitting and not allowing it to flow through a process is that inevitably it just gets stuck. And life continues to move, things continue to happen. And I found myself, especially when I was in college, if I'm being really real, not processing things until months after they happened because I was so stuck emotionally in my processing that I couldn't even really, it's like emotionally I could not catch up to things until like months had passed. And I remember talking to a therapist about this, and I told him, I was like, sometimes I feel like by the time I finally process something, something else is happening, and then I'm just overstimulated. And lately I've been noticing that it's because I wasn't accepting. I was racking my brain trying to figure out what I could have did better. How could this have went better? How could this be fixed? What can you do in the next go round? Hyper fixating so much on how to make something better that already happened. It's done. It's over with. Wash your hands and keep moving. There's no point in even beating yourself up over a lesson that obviously it took the experience for you to learn it. And the experience had a purpose. I think that I know that my words lately have just been I release. Because I'm tired of holding things that were never meant to be held. Sitting on things that were never meant to be sat on. Thinking of things that were meant to happen to teach you something, but never to continuously be on your mind that much. When you spend so much of your life in your mind, you're really not out in the open. You're not self actualizing. I guess I'm saying all of that to say feel your emotions, listen to yourself, but also acknowledge that time moves, things move, people move, and the thing that you're sitting with, I had to realize how much stuff I was allowing to run my present, still in the present from you. The only thing you really have is the moment that you're in. And when you allow things to take that from you, the very thing that you're overthinking of, you're giving all of your power to. I found that lately I've really been wrestling with the word power for a lot of reasons, a lot of wonderful reasons. But I was talking to this group and they talked a lot about different types of power. And I immediately loved the conversation because I love conversations like that. But the one that I sat on for a long time, the type of power is power within. And lately, I've really been just holding myself and sitting with the fact that so much of my power, my mental space, my power, like me, my ability to manifest, because even in manifestation, all it literally is the power of you believing something and believing in it enough that it comes to fruition. And there's so many times where I sit and I ask myself, were you just out here manifest, like not manifesting certain things, but when you hyper fixate on the negative and the bad, or you hyper fixate on the past and things that were meant to just be moments, and you're making them memories. I had to rock back and ask myself, do I think about the happy memories as much as I think about the things that upset me? And what does that say about my mind and what I'm thinking about in my free time? Like, girl, you out here thinking about things that hurt when you could be thinking about all of the love and joy and the good things. Life is all about what you give your energy to. And lately, I've just been in a space of you can't really call yourself a butterfly if you're still in your cocoon and you're too afraid to break out of the shell and fly. So, with that being said, I hope that helped someone. It's been on my heart lately. Go drink some tea. Specifically, if you try the honey lavender tea, I love a good honey lavender tea before I go to bed. Y'all, it puts you out like a light. Drink some tea, read a book, and just take some time to think about the good today. Hope you enjoyed it and see y'all in the next one.